Like, I feel like it's just something that hasn't been practiced too much in a lot of team comps. But Impunity, they're surely going to do it again as they pick him up first pick spot. They don't want him to get banned out at all. So now the question is what we'll see. We'll see the same bans coming out from the side of, at least in the fact of the Taka ban and Rhyme already being banned out. So very similar bans so far. Previous would end in a Reza ban coming out from the side of Nebulae, which is a good ban when you want to ban it away from a team comp like the Churnwalker saw. And you could imagine if Reza were there to finish off that comp, the Trespass into Neverform Detonator would just be disgusting.
Yeah, Petal ban makes sense. They had to deny something away. They couldn't let through the same comp. They couldn't let through the Weapon Petal. As I said, Weapon Petal got all the kills pretty much. So maybe they thought that that was the problem, not Churn, clearly. And I think Impunity really think Churnwalker is countered by Taka. Smart for them to ban it away if that's what they think, if they're comfortable playing it. Okay. And that is a Reza pick.
Mini, I know how much you love how much you love Reza. I was going to say
Reza,
how much you love Mini, but I'm not sure if you love yourself that much. But we do see the Reza.
I'm not Kanye West, no.
Well, we see the Reza pick up, and Batiste in response to that is good. But what I'm worried about is they're going to pick up a Saw and this time go Weapon Power Saw Reza, and they're going to have such a strong early game there that they should be able to go into the mid game fairly well. But do you think they're going to finish off with that sword? Do they have the confidence, or they? No,
yes, I do.
Have they been too counted out? And they don't feel counted out at all by the Batiste. I think Batiste, if he lands for Ordained onto that of Saw, it's not going to be of much use. Saw not really wanting to go anywhere. But if he's able to land it onto the Reza, it kind of counters Reza out a fair bit, as he's not able to continue with the chase that he's used to.
Yeah, one thing Reza does really well against Arden is that he can use his ultimate, Netherform Detonator, out of the gauntlet. You only get stunned by the gauntlet if you cross the wall. Reza goes invisible. He basically blinks outside the wall, same as Idris can jump past it. Whereas he cannot use any abilities to get out of Ordained. If you leave the area, under any definition of leaving the area, you're going to get stunned. So he will be stunned if he tries to use Netherform Detonator out of Ordained. So that is really what Batiste has to do. He has to stop Reza from jumping around, diving onto Vox, and this is going to be a weapon swarm. Most likely, we might see double CP. It would work quite well. It would be forcing them to go to late game as opposed to trying to push an early game advantage with Reza. Reza's great early game. I'd go see weapon saw, try and push that further, and it can work really well. So I'm interested to see what they're going to decide to go with. I think Saw does really well against Vox, quite well against Batiste, but not fantastic, because if Batiste does not Ordained Reza, but does Ordained Saw at the right time, you can stop him from roadie run and running away. Because that's one thing Weapon Saw can do, is if he realises he's in a bad position, gets the roadie run off on a minion or something, runs over a wall, runs away from you, and then you don't secure the kill. So that could be a real problem if Batiste managed to get the Ordained at the right time.
Yeah, well, I do think this is what Nebulae were trying to stop from happening the first time, and it was more Impunity in that initial match decided to go for CP Saw, and Weapon Pedal was a bit more improvising, and this could have been the comp they were looking for. So we'll have to see how the side of Nebulae are really able to implement this and just execute it overall. But before we go over to Luxuria, I'd like to hear your final thoughts on which team you're seeing as the winning team for this matchup.
I think it has to be Impunity. I think they've got their comfort pick on Churnwalker. Nebulae didn't want to play against Reza, and they are, so I'm going to go Impunity. But now we have loaded into the Halcyon Fold, so I request Jill and Luxuria take it away.
Hello, hello. Wow, that is it's the comp that the characters, or me and I at least, really want to see. It is Reza, Chan, and So. We've been at it for weeks now, and we finally do see it coming through from Impunity. So I was talking to Impunity's leader, and they are hoping to end this game really quickly, especially with the Saw, the weapon Saw pickup, and with the Reza as well, that can just bully the early game.
Yeah, and I do like that on the side of for Nebulae is once again we see the answer to Saw, at least is trying to just hope you get through to that late game. Blue City getting caught out in an early ordained, waits it out, able to dash out of there, but Def Q with full stacks, not afraid, is going to stand in the front line, continue to put down the auto attacks at very fast speed, and a lot of teams like to go the minion candy to just try and make it that much harder for the Saw in the early game to burst these minions down, so it's not as quick, gives their own laner a bit of a chance in those situations. But what I was talking about before is Nebulae's team comp as a whole. They are looking for, if they can get past this early game, they have an opportunity available to them to really bring it back in the late game. Reza falls off, weapon power Saw, I guess, falls off a bit, and the Vox and Batiste will just scale up really well. So looking at that, Nebulae do have a chance, and Impunity have kind of put all their eggs in the early game basket.
Yep, as long as this Reza, as long as Iron Gudai and this Reza do not go for the Southeast Asia meta build that we've been seeing quite a lot at this point in time, they would probably have got an easier early game, and it would not play into the win conditions of Impunity. So that is one thing maybe Nebulae has to reconsider, because a lot of times what I'm afraid coming up from Nebulae would be them just playing very safely and trying to keep trophies alive. Thus Iron Gudai will pick up the clockwork into that Echo first, just trying to peel for trophies. That wouldn't win you any games against this particular comp coming through from the side of Impunity.
Well, we do see Angry Udai going for that of, it looks like he could be building towards that possible clockwork that you mentioned, so it might not work out and they might just play into Impunity's hands, but going up against that of Blue City on the Reza, and he's going to find that the early game will be a bit tough. More so they'll be focusing that lane and trying to jump onto trophies, so it's up to Ironview to really peel for that box. So I don't think it's such a bad item in my opinion, as it's going to mean Ordained is up a lot quicker for him, and they're just really going to focus on keeping Vox alive, I believe, for the side of Nebulae.
Yep, but
taking the early turret, but gets taken down for first blood by Angudai up in that lane, who managed to land Ordained, leaving Saw with nowhere to leave, but is fairly committed to taking the turret with him. But Court of War now taking a fair beating. Blue City has made his way up to lane, but Court of War not able to take use of the futility of life with all of those enemies chained, as Blue City not able to find the damage output right now.
Yep, and Blue City, I mean, Batiste is a very good pickup coming through from the side of Nebulae, only because it stops Saw and, you know, the likes of Reza in their tracks, and they just cannot go out there, put down the damage that's quite needed. I'm not sure if Netherform Detonator, when used by Blue City, will, you know, just go past the perimeters, and whether or not it stuns Reza out, it's something that I've yet to see. I do not quite know, I've quite tested that yet, but it would hurt the side of Impunity if Ordain actually do hurt and do stun Reza out when he goes into Netherform Detonator. So that is something that I'm quite looking to see. But with the weapon Saw, we saw it in the first game between between RNG and Brand Esports. They ran a very similar team comp, but they have got Arden for the speed boost. Now Court of War on this Churn Walker don't really want that speed boost. Instead, he's going to bring everyone closer to him.
Yep, and we do see Blue City diving in onto that backline, trying to look for something. Court of War not quite able to find the hooks right now. Is going to go up into that front line, but needs to be careful. Does get the Torment off, pulling Iron Gudai back, but they're not able to get the kill just yet. And what I'd like to see again is Court of War going for that Echo more so into late, to work on getting the Torment off twice and just making sure they cannot escape at all. But there's the fearsome shade. Fountain having to be used for the side of Impunity. Blue City again dived on, but he's going to be able to pick up the kill onto Batiste, who has pulled back with that Torment. Just such a good ability, being able to reposition the enemy. But there's going to be the wait for it, silencing out Blue City. He's still looking for some poke onto trophies, but needs to be careful to not get too confident. Really just buying time for Def Q to work on that second turret as he takes it down with ease.
Yep, he does. 6 minutes in now. DefQ sitting at 2 turrets, or on the side of Impunity, sitting at 2 turrets for themselves. DefQ now on the run. Angry Udai will not be able to catch up to him. And Quartervore, I won't say it's kind of hit and miss with those chains, but whenever he does land those chains, the damage distributed to the entirety of Nebulae is just immense and tremendous, and it's quite hard to deal with.
Yep, and there's going to be the Torment pulling back the whole team, but they are going to be able to escape out of that one. And that's actually quicker than we saw with the previous Weapon Power Sword match. I forgot which matchup it was. I think Renegades played it, and Renegades up against Bren Esports played it in that first matchup, and they took the turret, the second turret at 6 minutes 30, but Impunity here just doing it at 6 minutes in, and you've really got to give it credit to Blue City. At first I was wondering, why is he really just trying to go for the poke onto Truffy's, but it's more so trying to bait them in and buy the time for DefQ. So Impunity, very smart plays there, and now they have that control over the map and more so the game. As we see, there's not too much of a gold lead. It's about 2k in favor of Impunity, seeing it's 17k over to 14.3, but kills are even as of now, so no real team fights breaking down, and just Saw pushing this lane as Saw should be doing. Torment gonna pull Iron You died back, and Blue City just going to land the Scorcher over the wall into the Troublemaker, picking up the kill. Neverform DNA has popped, and he's looking for something more, but Truffy's has that Vanguard on him, going to be safe for now. And the side of Impunity turning their attention towards possibly that gold mine.
Yep, they will be going for this gold mine. Vox is still up, relatively healthy. Will try to come defend or still against this gold mine, but Blue City will stand guard, trying to just fan them off. The gold mine will go over to the side of Impunity.
Yep, yeah, Doubtfire going in with the gauntlet. Maybe a bit of a misplay there as they get caught up in the pass. Are going to go down, but it's a trade out as Saw going down for that of the Arden. So actually a win for the side of Nebulae, as they now have the opportunity to push the lane if they choose to, but instead Truffy's looking for more, able to pick up a kill onto Quartervore as well, and now could look for the Crystal Sentry. They don't really need it, they don't have the energy or the confidence right now, and they're just gonna have to back out.
Yep, 8 minutes in, and I constantly just chant out the timing right now, only because of the confidence I received from the side of Impunity with their team comp. They want to try to end the game as soon as possible, but we constantly see a certain trend coming through for anyone or any team that picks out the Soul. It's that the third tier turret is just so difficult to push down.
Yep, it is indeed, but Impunity might be able to make it happen as Iron Gudai going very then not going to be the one to catch him out, but Quartervore picking up overall kill. And look at this, Blue City on that backline doing work, gets the double kill, secures the ace for them all. I believe it's basically the unofficial triple that Neverform Detonator did do a fair bit, although Quartervore was able to get the kill credit. And now Impunity, as you said, that Tier 3 turret is looking tasty to them, and they are going to try push onto it. So maybe a bit of Caster's Curse. However, we do see the Ace's aced up minion wave getting burnt down fairly quickly from the side of Nebulae.
I mean, the entirety of Nebulae, they clear minion waves really quickly. A ton of AoEs coming out from Angry on that Batiste, and the Resonance Bouncers definitely will be able to take out a aced minion wave without the minion candy relatively quickly. But once again, we do see that Echo build on Quartervore, and as just now, right? So you land those hook and chains, and then use Torment, and if anybody tries to run away, you echo that and you go like, no, you don't run away, you come back here. And that is basically what the entirety of Impunity really wants to get at. And maybe the Trespass will just only be used to just stop Arden's Gauntlet, if not then stop any important ultimates that can be coming out that Quartervore can catch out. But now, once again, the entirety of Nebulae trying to push the first tier turret of Impunity. Whether or not they will succeed, so
There's going to be ordained onto Quartervore, but now it's not up to stop Blue City. The Gauntlet is, however, there's some shade used to push back half the team. Echo on it as well to just push back about Blue City. He does get caught out in ordained for a second, but no one taking care of Soy. Goes in for the shank, gets the execution, but now the rest of Impunity need to be careful as Nebulae still have their damage dealers up and they're looking fairly low at the moment. There's no fountain for the side of Impunity right now, so not too sure why Quartervore would be pulling them closer. We're going to see that Def Q's there backing, but I don't know if they're going to be able to stop it. Instead, Nebulae continuing to push down this turret, and there's some shade gets blocked out, but Reza, meanwhile, was able to heal up in the jungle. He's going to go into the backline, burst them down, and Blue City making the plays for his team, helping them come back into this one. And before Doubtfire could even get back to them, has reset the favor for Impunity.
Yep, tons of buzz coming through from Impunity, especially Blue City on that Reza. But would it be enough at all? Because DevQ has been finding it really difficult to just step up his movement speed, and I know he is sitting on a journey boots. He has got an extra movement speed, but when the Soul is spun up, he's just so very slow, and it's just so difficult to catch up onto Blue City when he's in the front line, trying to just put down the burst. And the entirety of Nebulae is just making full use of that as well. We saw some very good hook and chains and into Torment coming out from Quartervore, but coming into this late game or just creeping into this mid-late game, it will be very difficult now. Although a lot of team fights have went in favor of Impunity, but whether or not it is enough at all for Impunity to push this out, because we know Baptiste just really need the Shatter Glass right now, to put out any form of damage, because if Baptiste does not have, then the side of Impunity might just win.
Doubtfire gonna jump in with the Gauntlet, but gets taken down instantly. There's some put back in before it goes away, and there's going to be Blue City jumping in, and the Trespass locks up Vox. They're going to be able to pick up that kill there. Iron Gudai going to be the next one to fall. Blue City just chasing them down, gets the kill, does get stunned out, but it doesn't really matter. So they get the ace. They're going to be able to get the Crystal Sentry and this Anchor turret, and before Kraken is up, so now they're just looking for more of a gold lead, I'd say, for the side of Impunity, seeing at 34k, but we've now seen the rest of Impunity decide to push in. Blue City isn't with them. They need to be careful, however, as Iron Gudai probably looking for Ordained onto that Saw, and he's going to land it, but Saw not running away at this point, just Iron Gudai taking a lot of damage in return, and there's some shade being used, a 35-second cooldown, so we'll be up in time with the Gauntlet and the Sonic with the wait for it, so they will have their ultimates up soon for the possible next fight. We'll have to see whether Impunity take advantage of this or no. It looks like DefQ just going to back, and with Blue City still back at base, it wasn't too bad that Nebulae had used their ultimates to push away that of Impunity.
Yep, one thing I absolutely dislike coming through from Iron Gudai is actually not even having the Shatter Glass at all. Instead, Iron Gudai sold off the 2 initial crystal bit he got in the early game. That is firstly not economical. It doesn't help you with anything. It gives you 150 gold, and it's just not enough at all. And instead, just going for that pure Baptiste that I was talking about. Yes, it will work if Trophies, is well protected, but what is happening right now is once Trophies has to get in range of Saul's basic attack, and we are in range of Saul's basic attack, you're in range of Quartervore's pull as well. Quartervore's Lando's pull don't have to attack you directly, attack your allies, and you just go down immediately.
Iron Gudai getting pulled back in with the Torment. Quartervore still has the Trespass available. Does look like he'll need it. He could use it to secure the kill onto Doubtfire, and he is going to do just that. And securing the game for the side of Impunity is a spun up Saw pushing into this final turret of the side of Nebulae. Impunity going to take the second game without the need of Kraken. The earliest game we've seen today, 15 minutes 20 in. They take the crystal, and that's going to be GG. Well played. And Saw really just having a spotlight in the current meta, and especially for today's matches. It was crazy